What's really interesting is how things look visually versus on the thermal camera. You just see as I come around between the light and the shadow, whoops, there's a finger, we're in the complete shadow here, and it looks just the same as when we're in the light. I think it's really interesting to see what cars look like as they go past. There's that sort of glow underneath. I think that is from the heat coming from the engine, and then plus the reflections of the road versus the top. I'm making stuff up here, but I think that's what's going on. I'd like to introduce you to my finger. It will appear from time to time. That is not intentional, but yeah. So if you see my finger coming out to party, it's there. Sorry about that. I think it's really interesting looking here. I'm looking at, I think it would be an overstatement to call it an orchard, but certainly some fruit trees. And then there's city in the distance. And on the main camera, you can see the lights of the city, but on the thermal camera, you just really can't. I thought that was really interesting. Once again, look at how different the car looks on the main camera versus the thermal camera. You can see the bright lights on the main camera, but on the thermal camera we're only really seeing light underneath the car. I think that's really cool. So something else that I think is really interesting is if you look here, you can see dark patches around here, and in some cases the dark patches correlate with the bright patches of one image versus the other. And then if you then go up and you see, okay, we're seeing some lighter stuff here, and then if we look up, and then the dark and the light are suddenly correlating with each other up there. So it's like if you ever thought that one image was just simply the inverse of the other, that's not the case, because you get some parts of the image where that would work and some parts where it doesn't. In any case, I thought that was really interesting. This poor camera is getting a good workout tonight. Alright, so we're having a look at the stop sign here. I'm really interested to see how it compares the front versus the back. Notice that the writing is completely invisible there. And then if we come back around here, yeah, it's really interesting how paint is affected by things. So here, very often the paint does affect things. Like if we look there, I'm expecting, yeah, we can sort of see the paint there. Not as much as I was expecting, actually. Let's just come around and have a look. So yeah, you can sort of see the paint here. Okay, but then if we come round and look over here, the metal will be acting as an excellent heat sink. So that'll be just dissipating any heat differences between the different colours of paint will be moved quite quickly. Whereas when we look at the concrete, that's probably had all day of the different colours affecting the concrete, and it's probably stored that. So it's probably because you notice the image is the thermal image is quite blurry around it, which would correlate with that sort of the temperature differences slowly dispersing. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. Cyclist looks like. I just thought this looks so interesting. Look how much brightness, temperature difference there is between the grass and the concrete. It's really quite vivid. And then even, why is that's probably there was a car parked here during the day, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what would have happened. Interesting. Look at this! So this is a brick fence, stone fence. Look how the stones look. That's so cool.